This video is of a Labor Day weekend backpack with three friends. We'd originally planned to go from Grayson Highlands State Park to Little Wilson Creek, but all the overnight parking was full there. So we ended up at Elk Garden Gap, hiking north on the AT shown here. We're backpacking in the Mount Rogers National Recreation Area and the Crest Zone, which is the high peaks and ridges and plateaus of the National Recreation Area. Four of us, Russ, Gillenwater, Denise Bivens, Tommy Pritchard, and myself. We had originally planned to start at Grayson Highlands State Park, but when we got there, they've got a new requirement, it appears, that limits the parking. You have to have a reservation for overnight stays. So after fiddling around there and catching up with each other, for a while I found Denise and Russ pretty easily, but Tommy was down at the country store, but we finally got together and drove, and we came up with several options. I gave everybody at least four options, one of which was just head back home, approach the Crest Zone from two other areas, but they would probably be crowded also, and also to bag it and go down and have lunch at La Cachina in Mountain City and then camp somewhere down there, or go to Elk Garden. And there's two possible backpacks here, one going north, one going south on the AT. We decided to go north to Brier Ridge, where we've camped before. It's a big grassy bald in a valley or gap below Mount Rogers, which is the highest point in Virginia. And so we've only got 2.5–3 miles or so, I think, to get there. And we decided also to take the trail I'm on now, which is the Virginia Highlands Horse Trail, because it's shorter, easier, more gradual ascent. And since we're getting a late start, I decided it was a good idea to use this. And also a big factor is there's nobody else hiking on it, and we don't even see any horses. There are incredible numbers of people on the AT starting out and already gone. The parking lot was 3 or 4 times fuller than I've ever seen it. 100 people at least are in here backpacking, I think. Hopefully not all where we're going. But anyway, this trail is good, and it'll be a hopefully rather easy walk. The problem with the reason the people are here is this is a hell of a weekend. It's a Labor Day weekend. The weather forecast is incredibly good. Some sun and no chance of rain. And with the COVID-19 thing, everybody's wanting to get out. So that's what they're doing. And basically you can see, which I love about Mount Rogers there, you can see where we're going. That's Mount Rogers there, highest peak in Virginia. And the gap on Brier Ridge that we're going to is right there. It's a grassy bald. And there's a lot more of it than you can see, but that's where we're hoping to camp. If it's not too crowded, if it is crowded, we'll find another one. Here's a GPS track of our route shown in red on a topo map, starting at Elk Garden bottom left, camping at bottom right. Here the trail comes out of the woods and leads up to the gap. Just right up there is a big, huge grassy field that I'll be to in just a few minutes. Brier Ridge Gap, I guess it's called. Okay, up on Brier Ridge Gap right now. There's the trail going on to the very top, and Brier Ridge is the dark area in the distance there. But crowds of people Because of the crowds, we looked for another site to camp where I'd camped before down there, but it had grown up too much. Well, we finally getting our tents up. There's the crowd down in the low part there. And there's Tommy. And over there's Denise. There. And here comes Russ, who decided to move. He was beside Denise. And I found a better site for me near the top of the ridge, right beside the mountains. What's that?
I don't have to come up through here, like come through your camp area.
Right. Oh, you go down straight down. Yeah.
Down there,
Yeah, that'd be fine. And Russ is
if I go to bed later,
right over there. Here's Denise beside her tent, and after getting the tents up, we went down to get some water. This is our water source. Really nice spring. Most people don't even know about it, and most of them carry it in their water, I guess, because they're not coming down here. Here's a National Geographic Trails Illustrated map showing our route and campsite at bottom right. We saw the famous Mount Rogers ponies both in the evening and next morning, and actually they were munching grass around several tents at night and caused some people not to be able to sleep. We didn't see many horse riders. This was one of only 2 groups we saw the whole weekend. So here we are at Brier Gap, Brier Ridge Gap. That's Russ's tent there. A multitude of people down there. And right there is my tent. Back there is Tommy's tent. And over there, orange and gray, is Denise, and that's where we're cooking dinner. And then going on around, this is an incredible view. That's Wilburn Ridge right there. And below that is Cabin Gap, where we have often camped. The shelter, Thomas Knob Shelter, is up there, and Mount Rogers, highest mountain in Virginia, is behind that ridge there that's to the northwest of us. Quite a place. Lots of people. You can hear people talking, but they're spread out. It's not too bad. Late in the day, we cooked dinner near Denise's tent. Here's Russ on the left, Tommy and Denise. Dinner for me was Backpacker's Pantry lasagna. Pretty good. A really great sunset. No clouds, but beautiful sun. And just scrolling around here. Out of focus there, but it'll get in focus shortly. The 30 or so tents. And we're camped up there toward the woods.
Can we turn around? Oh yeah, good idea.
There's a big group over there of some sort. And here are a couple of still photographs of the sunset. Really beautiful. The second one being mainly the red horizon to the west. And then the next morning to the east, we had a pretty good sunrise. Not quite as spectacular, but here's the sun coming right over the mountains. Well, it's around a little after 7:30. The sun is up, and I'm up. And everybody else is getting up pretty much, or already up, generally. The crowd of people down there. Way down in the valley there, see if we can see it. There's fog, a cloud. clouds. It's kind of nice. And here are a couple of still photographs of the clouds down in the valley. Really beautiful, looking kind of to the southwest. Last night was about perfect. It did get cold. It was in the low 40s, but no wind. And as you can see, the morning is, actually not a cloud in the sky. So we've had 2 days of great weather, which is somewhat unusual up here. Denise, for the movie, how was last night?
It was good. I was up a lot in the middle of the night because of the ponies.
They were bothering you?
No, but they were around.
Okay.
And I was loving them.
Yeah, they didn't bother me. Tommy, how about you? How was last night for you?
Well, at 4 o'clock this morning, they started chomping outside my tent, and they didn't stop.
All right. And you could hear them chomping.
Oh my God, yeah.
Okay, and Russ, how was it for you?
Good. Great moonrise.
Yeah, that's right. The moonrise was great.
Had to wait. I woke up and cold at one point, but did all right. And condensation had a little tight in my new tent. But,
yeah, condensation was bad last night.
Yeah, but overall it was good. I slept good.
Great. And over there are the ponies. They moved on, and one of them left me a present. I was setting right. I was setting right there's my cooking stuff. There's where I was sitting. Get out of the way there, Tommy. It's you got the shadow. Okay, that's what they left for me, right on the place I was sitting. I mean, square on the square on the place I was sitting. Okay, it's a little after 9:30, and we're going back at least part ways on the AT. Up there is Tommy and Denise going on ahead. And I'm down with the crowds. Still, there's Russ. And still lots of people here, but it is clearing out.
Well, if you'll get the stuff out of the bags, I'll start packing while you Yeah, but over there, if you think that way, just runs right over it.
Here's one of the best tent arrangements. Tent's under a rock. And we're still heading on up to the AT, right up there where the people are standing. Here's our route out, the Appalachian Trail, the blue line on a satellite photo. So here's our last look at Brier Ridge Gap, Brier Ridge behind it. I'm almost to the AT, which is right behind me in the woods, and wonderful spot though. Views, ponies, plenty of grassy campsites. And here you can always see just about where you're going. That's White Top Mountain there, I guess. And where we're going is, you can kind of see some cars or whiteness right there. And right now, we're going into the wilderness area and into the woods. On much of today's hike, we'll be in the Lewis Fork Wilderness, and especially the forest part. So, down a deep gap, we split up. Denise and Tommy are going over there and go back on the horse trail from here on, whereas Russ and I are going to continue on the AT to the parking lot. Both are about the same, except the AT's a little harder because it goes up and over a ridge. This section of the AT we're hiking today is almost all wooded except at the near the trailhead. Beyond Brier Ridge Gap where we camped. Lots of people coming in, going out, since we're still right in the middle of Labor Day weekend, I guess. After a bit, the trail gets kind of rocky and hard. In the beginning it was really good from Deep Gap. Interesting, here's a huge rock with a tree growing right out of the rock. Not too far from the road and the parking lot, the trail breaks out into some open areas with grass and trees, and there's White Top Mountain, and somewhere down below there at the base of it is the parking lot. And as we get really close to the parking lot, the trail breaks out of some more woods to some grassy balls that kind of are right over the parking lot. Lots of incredible yellow something daisies or coneflowers, I'm not sure. Really beautiful. Again, White Top Mountain over there. So, great view. I go right up, the trail goes right up there to the top of that point, and then you look down to the parking lot. There were some people camped up there last night. And here's a still photograph of the yellow flowers, which are probably autumn or common sneezeweed. So there's the trail, the Appalachian Trail. I just came up from the distance there through those wooded areas. And scrolling around, you can see where we camped and where we came from this morning. Brier Ridge is that big ridge to the right. And right there is Brier Ridge Gap, where we came from. At the base of White Top Mountain there, you probably can see it, is the parking lot. A huge mass of cars, but fewer than yesterday. Some people have already hiked out, I expect. There it is. There's 3 tents right there, and there's the parking lot, which I'm heading down to. Lots of people up here this weekend. We're just about to the parking lot. The others are already there. Good backpack, great weather, unusually so. Lots of people, too many people, but it's so big that they didn't bother me actually that much. And here's a still photograph of our group at the end with Denise practicing her dance moves. Okay, we're back in the parking lot, social distancing. Some have masks, some are don't have masks. And I was just going to ask, what was the highlight of the trip for Russ?
The view, the sunset, and the moonrise.
Yeah, which you saw, right?
Yeah.
That was great. And Denise?
The ponies.
The ponies, of course. And Tommy?
Milky Way, the one shooting star I saw, and then the view this morning.
Great. And for me, probably it was just sitting around the, sitting around the campfire, cooking, no campfire, and talking to everybody, because we haven't done that in a while.
Yeah, that was cool.
That was great.
Yeah.
'Cause I haven't hiked with anybody in 6 months.
Yep. Tommy's pointing out a car that's going to hit me, maybe. Okay, that's it.